So I bought a couple Nintendo 3DS consoles from Wish.com, and we all know Wish, not the most reputable place to buy stuff from. So let's go ahead and open these up and see what they sent us. So we have two packages here. I actually bought two consoles. They came at the same time, but in separate packages. Now let's go ahead and open them up. So package number one, we have the classic yellow-orange tape, whatever you want to call it. We also have some stickers here. I guess those are stickers. I remember the last time I bought a 3DS from Wish, a long time ago, they sent some stickers. We have, I guess, a screen protector. We also have a little carrying case. I did not know all of this was going to come with it. And that's all that's in there. And then we have our classic orange tape on our bubble wrap that comes from Wish pretty much every single time. Let's go ahead and open this up, see what's inside. And if you guys like seeing this weird stuff that I like to buy from eBay, Wish, AliExpress, that sort of thing, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below. Only takes 2 seconds to do, and I got a lot of cool content coming up. And here we go. So they also included a little protective case. Actually included a lot of stuff here. And we have a crystal case for 3DS. So the funny thing is, I'm assuming this is a reshelled. So that's what Wish does. They take, I don't know if it's broken 3DSs or what, but they take 3DSs, they reshell them, and they call them new. Quotation marks, because they're not actually new. They're really used, but they're in like a new case. So, you know, people are buying 3DSs from Wish thinking they're new, but they're not. That's a pretty standard Wish thing to do. Let's take a closer look here. So we already saw these three things. We also have this protective case. I'm not sure why they included all this stuff, but it also has a USB stick, because I think these come modded. So I guess they're giving a USB stick so you can mod it easier. And I guess they're kind of lazy, and they get their replacement case in one of these boxes and then just put the entire 3DS in there as well. Let's go ahead and see what they sent us. Got a little bit of bubble wrap, have a protective cover here. And oh, that's pretty slick. So this is like the gray and black 3DS console. It's kind of got a cool gradient here. Goes from gray to black there. And then here on the back, it's pretty much just gray, I guess. Still has kind of a little bit of a shine to it. And according to the outside, it is a Japanese model. I have no idea what the internals look like. Don't know if they're actually Japanese or not. But let me just show you some interesting things here. So when we zoom in close here, just take a look at that Nintendo logo. It looks way off, doesn't it? I mean, I guess it's kind of close, but like the O looks bad. It just doesn't look right. I have a real 3DS here, and as you can see, it looks pristine right there. It looks great. That one down there just looks like crap. And of course, it's hard to compare everything because this is a US 3DS. This is a Japanese one. So not everything is exactly the same, but that's the biggest giveaway, that you have at least a knockoff shell. They also do that on like knockoff games as well. So like if you buy a reproduction Pokemon game, the Nintendo logo will look like that. But other than that, the exterior actually looks pretty solid so far. Got your couple switches down here, 3D slider, Wi-Fi slider, you got your volume slider. Volume slider is very choppy, not the best. And we got our SD card holder here, and we do have an SD card in there, so it's probably already modded. If we open this thing up, this happens, so it's been a while since I bought a handheld from Wish, but they always include these little screen, they're not protectors, but they're like a screen film. And so let's go ahead and take these off, because obviously we don't want to play with these still on here. Man, you gotta pull hard to take that off. That thing is on there tight. All right, so off the top screen actually looks pretty solid. And the thing I find funny is that these the screen films are always like crooked, like they just chopped them with scissors. Didn't even try to cut them straight. Pull it off here on the bottom, and so far so good. This is actually better than other stuff I've purchased from Wish in the past. We got our joystick here, have our buttons. Buttons are pretty shallow here, but I think the 3DS buttons are just shallow in general. Yeah, back to the real one, the 3DS buttons are just kind of shallow in general. These are a bit more shallow, but yeah. And then when we zoom in here on the buttons, you can kind of tell a difference. So the knockoff shell, like they're not centered all the way, and the X looks like crap. The B and A look okay, but they're kind of like crooked and stuff. The Y is way off center. So just clearly some cosmetic flaws there. But the hinge seems to work fine. Works pretty well, and nothing has fallen apart yet, which is surprising. So far, so good, to be honest. There's no charger. I don't know why. I thought it included a charger. But let's go ahead and open up the second one and see what we got here. Thanks to Private Internet Access for sponsoring today's video. This is me trying to watch Rick and Morty before I had private internet access. And this is me watching Rick and Morty after I bought private internet access. Private Internet Access is a VPN provider, and as you can see, they provide a pretty easy solution to, honestly, a frustrating problem. And so what exactly is a VPN? Well, VPN stands for Virtual Private Network, and essentially it encrypts your internet traffic and disguises your online identity, which makes it more difficult for people online to track you and steal your data. And private internet access never records or stores your data, and they have a no-log policy that has been proven in court multiple times. And with over 30 million downloads, you can trust that private internet access knows what they're doing. And like I showed you earlier, you can use private internet access with all major streaming providers. So if you're in the US and you want to watch Rick and Morty, all you gotta do is connect to a server in a country where Rick and Morty is available, and boom, you can watch Rick and Morty. And now this next feature here, while it may not seem that important, it's honestly my favorite part. Private internet access lets you protect up to 10 devices at the same time, which is pretty nice because I use my phone, my MacBook, my Google TV pretty much every single day, and I'm sure you can find 7 more devices to protect, and so that's a pretty big bang for your buck. And signing up is absolutely risk-free. There's a 30-day money-back guarantee, so if you don't like it, get your money back. There's no risk. And by using my exclusive link down below in the description, you can get 82% off private internet access. That's just over $2 a month, and you get 3 months extra for free. And so, what are you waiting for? If you're tired of being spied on, check out private internet access today. All right, second package, got to open, and it's double wrapped. That's interesting. All right, so after unwrapping 2 of these packages, we now have some stuff coming out. We have stickers again, so we have actually slightly different stickers, it appears. Screen protector, another little carrying case. I actually want to open this up and check it out. It kind of looks like a cheap piece of foam, basically. So yeah, extremely cheap, kind of nice. Oh, and that's funny. So this does not match up at all. First of all, this is not, so new is kind of confusing with the 3DS because they actually have one that's called a new, even though you can buy it used. It's just basically the newer version, a terrible name, but this says new Nintendo 3DS on it. First of all, this is not the model. This is original 3DS. This is not a new 3DS, and it's also not brand new. It's used. I don't know, just a lot of confusing branding going on there. But as you saw, same classic orange tape. And by the way, if these consoles end up working decently, whether they work or not, I'll probably sell them on my website. Go down below and check it out, jrobgaming.com, and you can probably get it. You should be able to get a solid price on it. If you sign up for my newsletter, you'll get a discount. All right, so here we go. I'm pretty sure I bought 2 different packages from Wish, as in like so basically when you go on here, they sell them as different like bundles. See, this one comes with a charger, so I guess I bought the bundle with the charger for this one. It's a cheap knockoff one, but then we have this same little case, and then again the crystal case for 3DS. And I don't remember what color I got for this one, but we're about to find out. Same deal here, bubble wrap, little sleeve, and it's kind of the cool red and black gradient here. So it looks pretty sleek. Have a couple imperfections there, but nothing crazy. The triggers feel pretty good. Flipping over to the back, we have red. The first one we opened had a Japanese shell. This one has a US shell. Not sure why the difference, but you can already tell the difference here that just like the writing is different. And also, even on these 2, the Nintendo logo is different on the 2, which is kind of weird. So as you can see, both Nintendo logos are pretty bad. This one is very bold and just mushes together. This one's not as bold, but it just still looks bad. So just comparing here, this is the official one I have. This is from Wish. You can see the logos look obviously different, but the writing is actually pretty close. This one has white. This one's kind of gray. I guess that's just depending on the color 3DS you have, but it actually does not look too terrible so far. Open it up. Same kind of screen films. Again, they're kind of just jaggedly cut. It's kind of satisfying to peel this off, except that you have to pull so hard. Like I feel like I'm going to pull the screen off, which is actually what I did a long time ago on I think it was a DSi that I bought from Wish. You know what I'm saying? And dude, look at that. No way. It just pulled off the entire top screen. And the bottom one actually came off a lot easier. And this one, at first glance, looks a whole lot crappier. All right, so all of these buttons, A is way off center, B is off center, X is off center, Y is pretty close. The power just looks weird. This down here looks like crap. The buttons are super shallow. The stick's not too bad, but it feels kind of crappy as well. And then just messing with the sliders are definitely very rough. They're not smooth like they should be. So left is the official one, right is from Wish. As you can see, the select, home, and start, it looks just like crappier on this one. Hard to explain, but it just looks bad. And obviously the buttons on this one are just way off center, look really bad. Power, the font and power is really large compared to this one. And it's hard to show you the shallowness of the buttons on here, but they're like extremely shallow. I mean like a 3DS is pretty shallow, but these are even worse. And then this joystick here is actually taller than the official one, which is kind of odd. Again, kind of hard to show, but actually, whoa, what is that down there? Where did that come from? So I guess our case is falling apart. Okay, so there's a rubber foot right there, and it fell off while I was using it. That's awesome. classic. We do have a stylus here. Let's see if that even pops out. It does pop out. Cool. But that's just kind of the kind of quality you get from Wish, just pieces falling apart. But let's go ahead and turn these things on, and hopefully they turn on. So let's start with number 1. We'll just press power. All right, no power. So let me use this power brick and see if we can charge her up. All right, plugged in. We do have a charging light, which is good to see. It still is not turning on. It probably has to charge up for a minute. So let me go ahead and try the other one, see if this one has charge. Otherwise, we'll just have to let them charge for a few minutes and then come back. Aha, this one does have some power. So we'll go ahead and start with 3DS number 2. So it took a while, but it did open up, which is actually pretty typical because it is a modded 3DS, I would assume, which is why we have all of these open, or these packages to open. So basically they included a bunch of games illegally on here, which is, yeah, typical Wish. There we go. We got Cookie Mom 5, Mario Party, Island Tour, Disney Magical World, and just on the on 3DS you can click the button and it'll open up the packages, which is kind of cute, I guess. I got Sonic, Spider-Man, Super Mario 3D Land, but yeah, it is on. And then as you can see, we have FBI here, which if you don't know what that is basically a file manager for Homebrew on the 3DS, and it uses CIA files. Kind of funny. But as you can see, they just included a bunch of random games. So I guess we should try out some stuff. Let's see if the touchscreen works. Okay, cool, it does work. So I can open up FIFA 15. Such a random game to include. Why would they include FIFA 15? I don't know. Let's try to play one of these games though. So we got Super Smash Bros. Let me try this 3D real quick and see if it even works. It does work, but just typical 3D. I don't like the 3D on the 3DS, to be honest. Especially the original one. It was pretty crappy, so not a fan. So I'm playing some Smash Bros. And obviously it does work. Now this joystick here actually does not feel great. It's not nearly as smooth as the official one, and the height of it actually is kind of annoying. So not a huge fan. The buttons do work fine for the most part. I haven't tested every single button yet, but like so far it feels pretty natural. So it is working. No really huge issues so far, except cosmetically it's kind of looks pretty crappy, and that foot fell off, which is not a great sign for the rest of the quality of this thing. But let's try to connect to Wi-Fi and see if the Wi-Fi adapter still works. So the internet does appear to work. I connected up to my Wi-Fi and I just searched my website, which I'm actually curious what it looks like on the 3DS. Problem with that's odd. Never gotten an error on any other device. All right, so this is what my website looks like on the 3DS. It looks like absolute junk. Not surprising. I would not use a 3DS for internet browser in these days, but just interesting to look at nonetheless. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the first 3DS console, see if it's actually charged up enough to power on now. Hopefully so. All right, cool. We have a light there, so it is powering on, hopefully. Usually these 3DSs take a little bit longer to power on because they are modded, so it has more to load. All right, so here it is, and at first glance, the screen is definitely a lot dimmer. I'm hoping that's just the setting. So yeah, it's on 3 out of 5 instead of 5 out of 5. All right, so that's a bit better now. You can see it a little bit better, and hopefully you guys can as well. And as you can see, we got it's actually not the same stuff, so I'm not sure how they decide what games to put on what console, but a bunch of just random games here as well. Definitely modded. You've got your FBI up here. Yeah, just like random games. I don't know how they decide this. I guess a few of the games are the same, but I'm definitely seeing different games. And these were already opened up, so I'm not sure if they gave me a console that's already been used. I don't know, but let's go ahead and try a game out in here. All right, well, that's not good. Booting up Super Mario Bros. 2, I think I'm playing. Failed to read the SD card. All right, I'm assuming that's because they probably used a crappy knockoff SD card in here. And you can already tell the quality here. I'm trying to close the SD card holder and it's just like not really fitting. That's awesome. So just a comparison to the real one. So that's actually very high quality, closes very easily. This one like super flimsy and just like doesn't really click into place. Kind of annoying. So playing the game seems to work fine. I haven't tested out all the buttons, but so far so good. And I forgot to do this on the other one, but I need to test a game out and see if the cartridge slot works. So we have both a DS game and a 3DS game to try out. Let's go ahead and plug in a 3DS game first, and we're just gonna see if it loads up here. There it is, Animal Crossing, cool. So it appears to work. Let's try a DS game now. All right, cool. So there's a DS game. So a 3DS game and DS game does work on this console. Let's go ahead and try out the other console and see if it works. And something I noticed a second ago is that this console just like slides around. Like the back is kind of bulging out a little bit. Hard to tell, but it is. There you go. So as you can see, DS game is working there. Now let's try out Animal Crossing for the 3DS here. And there it is. All right, so DS and 3DS games appear to work on both consoles. And both consoles seem to work. Let me just connect to Wi-Fi real quick on this one, make sure that works. But after I do this, I actually want to open up this one specifically because the back is definitely bulging out a little bit. I'm curious what's inside and what they did, because it's definitely not a good sign whenever your console is bulging. So internet appears to work on this one as well. I'm searching on a web browser now, and I am very interested to try out or to open up this other 3DS now, because I've been looking at it a little bit, and basically when I press down the back, it makes this weird noise like it's some sticky stuff back there. Just listen to this noise real quick. So yeah, it makes that noise whenever I press down on it, so that's pretty weird, right? Let's go ahead and open this up and see what's going on inside of this thing. So it should be pretty simple to open up the back plate here. We have 4 screws, and they're all Phillips head. All right, so the big reveal, this back plate should come off now. So it's like it's got some glue in here, and I don't remember if that's normal or not. That definitely looks not normal. So this back plate is definitely very bent. Yeah, no wonder. Like, look at that. It's super bent. So it was kind of like bowing up in the middle. That's pretty crappy. Then you got your battery here, which the battery seems okay. It's not like inflated at all, which is good to see. And I'm sure this is probably a knockoff battery. Sure, it's not legit. Stick it in there. The battery seems to fit just fine. It's just this back plate is just a piece of crap. And now I have a regular 3DS here, so let's compare. All right, so here's the regular 3DS. Pop it open, and as you can see, no glue. There should not be any glue there. So that's what I thought. There should be no glue there holding down the cover, or the back cover, excuse me, and it should be pretty flat like it is there. And yeah, that's not what's going on here. They're using glue to hold that down for some reason. The back plate is extremely warped. You know, I'm assuming they used glue here because they know that these back covers warp, I guess, on whatever crappy material they use. But that's pretty annoying. This one right here doesn't seem to be like that though. So for curiosity's sake, I decided to open up this one as well. I can't get it off because I'm assuming it's glued, and I kind of got to prop the edges, but I got all the evidence I need. It's definitely glued there because it's just not coming off. And another thing to note is that these screws just pop off like this, whereas on the real 3DS, you actually have these nice little brackets here that hold the screws in place. It's just the little things, you know. Nintendo on their official stuff does the right things, the little things. Obviously on these little knockoff cases and stuff, there's just stuff missing. It's not the best quality. You know, it's not the greatest price either. I paid like 130 bucks or so, I think, per console, which is not great for a 3DS. It's actually pretty steep. But yeah, let me know down below what you guys think, and I'll probably sell these on my website soon, so make sure to check out my link down below, and thanks for watching.